Hello. I never know what's going to happen next. My life is an adventure. It's complete chaos. I'm a schizophrenic, body control schizophrenia. I submit to the highest one, the highest God, and regardless of if you believe that or not, I'm going to give you an argument for it. And hopefully I can pull you to the other side. Why worry? My life should be filled with worry, but I have no worries. I never know what's going to happen next, but I know one thing. The contraptions I create in my own mind are not necessarily congruent with reality. They are not reality. The reality present before me has variables and I cannot see them clearly when I overthink them. I create illusions masked over those variables and I don't handle them properly. Instead, by taking worries away, I of course age slower through this process. Worry creates cortisol into that process. You age faster, you inhibit your frontal lobe, which keeps you from thinking clearly as well. It's not a good thing. How do I do it? I give it to God. I give it to the one true God. I trust in His plan. I have faith in His plan. I have faith in Him. And regardless of if you believe this or not, the premise of practicing this elucidates you with clear decision making, because by giving it to God, you innately reduce the worry in your mind. I do not worry, I give it to God. Thus, even someone with a life as chaotic as mine, body control schizophrenia, me, I'm not worried about what can happen next. I've had horrible things happen to me when I wake up. Right now my life is really blessed, it's really peaceful, but I feel perfectly fine now despite, watch, do you want to? Yes, sure. We don't hurt Akram anymore. Take it back. Take what? Control, you idiot. I can communicate with this being. I have a healthy relationship with him. He doesn't come out. I'm in full control of myself whenever I want. And quite frankly, my life is bliss. I don't worry about a thing, despite all the things constantly happening to me. And through the premise of giving it to God, that's how I do it. Regardless of if you believe in God or not, if you have a hierarchy of values you submit to, and you say, I will manifest towards this direction, regardless of what happens, I will manifest towards this. I'm not going to worry about it. I trust myself to learn if I stumble, to grow and transverse this plane towards that direction one way or another. I'm not going to worry about it. I have faith through my own natural fruition that this will happen. If it doesn't, if I miss, that's okay. I'll figure it out. It'll be okay. No problem. I'm not going to overthink it. I can make this work. But if you do believe in God, it's all the more powerful. Not only do you not worry, not a single leaf falls without His knowledge. Not a single leaf. He is aware of all things and understands all things. Thus, when we lean on our own understandings, we limit our ability to fully take the right course of action. We are limited in our ability to make decisions, take the right course of action, because our vision is limited. The 5 senses we use to navigate this plane are limited. We don't even see most of the electromagnetic spectrum. There's so many rays coming at us. We cannot see any of the colors. We can only see a few of them, and through this process, we paint a faint picture, hoping we stumble in the right direction. And oftentimes, through our own understandings, we wreak more havoc than actual necessity requires. God knows all. God, He will illuminate the path if you humble yourself and submit to Him. Through this premise, when you understand, you realize why giving it to God is so powerful. It is powerful. It is. live longer because you're not aging yourself with cortisol. You reduce the illusions that happen in your mind as you can see the variables more clearly. And through this premise, oftentimes what you find is that, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I can't. The path that was given to me is far better than anything I would have ever picked myself. I was saved. My life was saved because of God. I wouldn't have figured that out myself. I wouldn't have had to control myself. Because I gave it to God, I was able to make the right decision. And through that premise, in the long term, I was saved before I even realized what was happening. Without God, I would have been done. You don't realize how God's hand has been in your life all this time. Leaning on our ways, we lose this magic, we lose this power. And even if you do not believe, you limit your ability to manipulate the variables clearly because you create illusions in your mind that are not congruent with the reality, not congruent with the moment itself. Over-worrying pulls us away, detracts us from the moment. We ill-elucidate ourselves. We lose our ability to manipulate the variables clearly by giving it to God, by giving it to the mighty, the Almighty. We, in turn, even if you don't believe, can see the variables more clearly. But when you do submit to God, when you do submit to Him, you find through the elucidation you gain, the illumination you gain, you are left in awe in His own magic, in His own will. You can't help but realize how small you are in the grand scheme of things, His greatness. We couldn't even come close. It's Him. He is the one. And practicing believing, even if you don't, even if you feel like you have so much skepticism, not seeing, it doesn't matter if you can't. It doesn't. Maybe for another video, I'll give a glint insight into this as well. We can't see anything anyways. Maybe the image of God is imprinted in everything and everywhere. And if we just pay attention to the pattern, it's so clear as day. It's clear as day. The magic is all around us. It's just we use our own senses to create a limited conclusion that is not congruent with reality because our senses are so limited in its ability to process the universe. Our brain cannot do it. Our senses cannot do it. We have a very limited picture. And it's foolish. It is truly foolish to come to a maxim based upon just this limited vessel we have. This limited mind we have. If you are to be skeptical of anything, be skeptical of that. Your ability to figure out a maxim. All we humans can do is piece together shadows, hoping we can come to a more congruent path towards truth. And with that said, what we do is find patterns. When you're open to God, you see His hand in everything. Thank you all for watching. Until next time. Peace.